What's up and welcome to my guitar channel. Haken have released the new song Lovebite, and the plan in this video is to give it an analysis as well as a reaction. So let's see what they've come out with this time. Okay, I would have no way of knowing how to count this. I mean, I could if I practiced it. If someone needed me to learn this song for some reason, or I wrote something like this, I would actually feel it out rather than count it, because just that's the way that I approach these things. This feels like this rhythm is easy to connect with and memorize and perform. Doesn't necessarily sound easy for me to count. What I am really enjoying is the level of production. The other Haken that I'm used to is always really, really good with their production, and this is no different. What I do find interesting about this is the toms seem to be kind of small, so it's like the kick and the snare are massive and the toms are kind of tiny compared to those two. That may change as the song goes on, but at the moment, while we're kind of having the opening statement of the song, they kind of sound a bit thin. They don't sound bad, but it's just often toms are used sparingly in a song, and often when they are used like that, they can afford to be quite large. In this case, they seem to be a lot further back than the kick and the snare. Whoever this singer is, I actually really, really like his voice. No idea what his name is, but every time I hear him sing, it's like such a rich voice, and he has so much capacity to sing, you know, between really aggressive vocals and some really beautiful, beautiful cleans.
Could never be simple, simple. The widow licks her wounds. She's the devil with the details, details. As I sink into you, oh, the first cut of the deepest, deepest. You and I can never lie. My heart's still beating on the outside. We cause to make decapitate our taste.
That riff in the background is fucking amazing. Sorry, I was just really kind of intensely listening and trying to dissect as much as I could in that. This is a really kind of crazy song. They're doing a lot of things that are atypical. So for example, the lyrics in the verse, they aren't really bothering about rhyming or really connecting with a full idea of the concept of the song. They're just kind of outlining, hey, this is the situation. Here's a lot of information about the situation that's going on, but not necessarily any context. When we learn that we're essentially ripping someone's body apart or something, then all of that stuff starts to make sense. In addition to that, it's like the guitar lines, they're very, very unimportant in the verse. They're just kind of adding some ear candy, adding some interest. The bass is holding down the groove, and we're just following this beautiful vocal melody as it goes through. Let's listen to the chorus again and see what else we can pull out of this.
You and I can never lie. My heart's still beating on the outside.
Is this rhythm exactly what was used in the intro? Let's find that out. Right, so that thing that I find impossible to count is actually just 4/4, and you got to feel where the rhythms are. Man, I feel dumb sometimes. So in the chorus, we've got things that are more typical. We're starting to use perfect rhymes and stuff like this, and I'll pause and show you them as we go along. So cannibalize and outside, obvious. So here we've got consummate, decapitate, and taste. They all actually rhyme together, or at least they do in this context. And then bite is harping back to the first half of the chorus. So this is really cool. This is a very creative use of rhyme where it's kind of really offset and off-balanced, but it does all tie together.
The danger of the thrill, a fatal attraction, fracture. Another view to a kill, caught in the torment of her rapture.
So if you listen to the guitars and bass, this is just kind of a wandering melody. It's not actually really pointing to anything specific. It's not something simple. It's just kind of moving around and laying a foundation where we can listen to the vocals. This feels like a very Haken thing to do. It feels really common in a lot of music that's like this, where it's not trying to be simple, it's not trying to be poppy, but it still works. I'm still listening to and really liking the verse melody, which is the whole point. We're supposed to be listening to that. And the rest is just, this prog metal thing that's kind of going on in the background that gives listeners that are used to this type of music something else to kind of engage with. I love those background vocals. For me, whatever, it just kind of reminds me of something 80s. I keep thinking of Toto Africa. That's hilarious.
How many others came before me? You know the pleasure's always.
Actually, it's also that guitar that's playing on the backbeat. So they're actually really trying to harp back to a entirely different genre, which is really cool. I'm really enjoying this song more than I thought I would. Why is this so happy? Now that we're here, this is actually starting to remind me a lot of Avenged Sevenfold, A Little Piece of Heaven, because they've got this song that's about zombies eating each other and stuff like this, but it's just kind of disguised as a love song. This sounds happy. It sounds like an uplifting metal song, and they're literally talking about eating each other and decapitation and cannibalism and all this stuff, and oh, you're the victim and blah, 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 blah. And it's like such kind of poppy, non-invasive themes that they're talking about, except the actions that are going on behind those themes are really, really fucking disturbing. I love it. I reckon it's great. Some beautiful harmonies going on there in the vocals. All right, so there's two things going on there. I feel like that guitar solo should have had a more prominent place. It sounded a bit too quiet in the background for me. There was a huge synth in the background that was eating up a lot of headroom, making it kind of hard to distinguish what was going on there. If you like this type of solo, the way that it's written is essentially they've taken the chorus melody, copied that exactly, and then they've done a big run down, held it for a couple of notes, and then a big run up. There's nothing particularly fancy about what's going on there. It's just, hey, here's a beautiful melody, a big flashy run down, a note that sounds good, and then a big flashy run up, and then that's it. So this solo is really not that complicated to put together in terms of theme. It's not like they're referencing all different parts. It's not like it's overly melodic. It's just a really simple solo in a relatively simple song for Haken. I like that arpeggiated synth or whatever that's going on in the background there. That was just insane. That was actually so much fun to listen to. I'm really glad that I did listen to it. So the reason why I love to engage with songs like this is because it allows you to think a lot more laterally about your compositions. So what have we got here in terms of lateral compositions? One, we've got really complicated rhythms that turn out to be a 3/4 or a 4/4 idea that's kind of not actually that difficult, even though it sounds like it's just kind of going nuts with the rhythm. Another thing, we've got mismatched lyrics for the song. Like, the song is mostly positive, but the lyrics are really, really gross. Another thing is we've got calls to different genres that are really, really atypical in terms of what is commonly done, especially in metal, which gives us something that sounds original and sounds really creative. So even though this song is not particularly complicated, as in, it's not like you have to listen to this 10 times to really understand what might be happening. First listen, you can really connect with the song. But on your 10th listen, you're going to find more depth, more interest, more things that are kind of going on deep within the composition. For example, the guitar and bass playing through the second verse. That's something that it's not specific. If you're not paying attention to the guitar and bass, you're never going to notice that while the song's playing along. But on the 10th time, you're going to go like, wait, hold up. The guitar and bass don't even repeat. They just kind of noodle around and it sounds fine. And there's such a deep level of attention to detail in the composition that it's going to keep giving you gems, little ideas, little ear candy, whatever, every time you listen to it until you're so familiar with the song that you're sick of it. Anyway, that's it for me this week. I would love more recommendations of songs that are similar to this because I really, really like that. And I think Haken have done a fantastic job. Anyway, I'll catch you next week for more stuff about music. Bye-bye.